वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हे कृष्ण गोविंदो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। रामाय रामचंद्राय रामभद्राय रामचंद्राय वेदसे नाथाय रघुनाथाय सीताय पतये नमः। पूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरं गिरम् आरुह्य कविता शाकं वंदे वाल्मीकि कोकिलम्। जय श्री राम। So we will continue to discuss the gunas, the qualities of Sri Ramachandra. As Valmiki Maharshi, what you heard from Narada Muni, he only asked that question, Konasmin sampratam loke gunavan viryavan dharmagyascha kritagyascha. And Sri Narad Muni explained in 100 verses the entire Ramayana, focusing on the qualities of Sri Ramachandra. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Hanumanji, right? Yesterday we did not even speak even once about Hanumanji. This very Hanumanji in the 5th canto Bhagavatam explains, while glorifying the accessibility of Sri Ramachandra, that is the first quality, Gunavan. While glorifying the accessibility of Ramachandra, he explains, Na janmanunam mahato na saubhaga, Navan buddhir na kritistosha hetur, Tair yad vishristam apino vanakusau, Chakara sakya bata lakshmanagraja. Very beautiful. Usme dhwani hai. There is a depth in that verse where Hanumanji is saying that how is it possible for us who are vanaukasa, living in the forest, is that we were able to make friendship with the brother of Lakshmana. How did Hanumanji use the name of Lakshman? Because the first introduction about the accessibility of Sri Ramachandra was given by Lakshman himself. And Hanumanji meets Sri Ramachandra in the forest. And then he speaks so beautifully. Sri Ramachandra is extremely fascinated by Hanumanji. But still, Sri Ram does not speak to Hanuman. The general character of Ramachandra is Purva Bhashi. He will speak first. Mita Bhashi, he'll speak concisely. And Madhura Bhashi, and he'll speak sweetly. Right? There are Mrudu Bhashi, Madhura Bhashi, Mita Bhashi, Purva Bhashi. But with Hanumanji, Ramchandra Bhagwan did not speak only. He asked Lakshman to introduce. And what does Lakshman do? He explains about the background of their coming, who they are, why they are in the forest, what is the position of Sri Ramachandra. When it comes to talking about himself, what does Lakshman say? Lakshman says, Aham asya varo bhratra guner dasyam upagataha. He said, Hanumanji, what is my position doesn't matter who am I, but I can tell you, Sri Ramachandra's greatness is that he has accepted me as his brother. For me, I am his servant. I am an eternal servant. That is my identity. I am a Shesha. But it is the greatness of Sri Ramachandra. He has accepted me as his brother. That is the foundation of the quality called as Gunavan. Valmiki Maharshi, when he asked this question to the great Narad Muni, the 16 qualities. Gunavan generally means collection of many qualities. Kya gunwan hai? What a quality he has, right? Kiti sundar guna hai. So the collection of quality is called as Gunavan. But interestingly, Valmiki Maharshi, what does he do? He separates that quality from other qualities. Gunavan, right? Viryavan, Dharmagya, Kritagya, Satyavakya Paripalaka. So just like these qualities are there, Gunavan is also one of the quality of Sri Ramachandra. It does not, in this case, generally yes, Gunavan means collection of qualities. But in this case, in Valmiki's Ramayana, Gunavan is a separate quality. And the beauty of Valmiki Ramayana is that each of these qualities are not in isolation, they are interconnected. Therefore, before describing the first quality, I will bring the second quality also. The second quality is Viryavan. Parakram, Purushartha, Sahas, Viryata. All these qualities Sri Ramachandra can easily exhibit. Right. Somebody's mic is on. Can you switch off? So, when we see Gunavan and Viryavan, they are complementary to each other. Viryavan cannot exist without Gunavan, and Gunavan has no value without Viryavan. Right? What is Gunavan means? Gunavan in this case, as Valmiki Maharshi asked this question to Narad Muni, Gunavan means basically, it explains that the personality who becomes easily accessible to those people who do not have the facility. You must have seen the celebrities when they move around, even if they want to be accessible to people, they cannot be accessible because the people. Excuse please, somebody is Narayana Acharya Prabhu. Can you switch off your mic? So, what do? They basically are not capable handling the large number of people wanting their attention. They disguise themselves. They take a different facility, right? Wanting this place, wanting that place, hiding from people. So, as you grow higher and higher and higher, you become less and less accessible to ordinary people. It doesn't matter who you are. Even if you're an ordinary Gram Panchayat chairman, you become less and less and less accessible. It's a natural reality of this world. But if someone having limitless power at the same time become accessible to others as if is part of their family, that quality is called as Gunavan. Right? So this quality of Gunavan, when it is connected to Sri Ramachandra, who is he? Sri Ramachandra is the personality of Godhead. Bhagavan, Purna Purushottam, acts as a Maryada Purushottam Bhagavan, but still avatar. Imagine for an avatar to come down to our realm and become part, accessible. That is what Hanumanji is saying, that Supreme Bhagavan, that Ramachandra, he was associating with us, walking with us, fighting with us. What was our caliber? What was our quality? He came with us. Just like the example is given, milk and water. There is a big difference between milk and water in regards to value, right? Water is valuable, no doubt, but milk is costlier. दूध आराम से नहीं मिलता. When you add water in the milk, just like when adding water in the milk becomes easy to mix, and therefore, there was a meme going on in Bangalore, and the milk is very pure because there is a scarcity of water. पानी नहीं है, इसलिए दूध अत्यंत शुद्ध और बिना भेसल से मिल रहा है. So that is the capacity to mix with people. Like the mother, when she sees the child in great trouble, difficulty, challenges, she becomes accessible. She speaks the language of the child. Even the great PhD scholar, who is a linguistic, who is known for giving proper understanding of how to speak, and that same personality, when he's speaking to his own child, 6 months old, 1 year old, what does he do? He talks gibberish. Talks exactly like the child. Why? Because this personality is wanting to mix with the child and speak the language of the child which the child will understand. That is accessibility. But the problem of accessibility is a beggar, for that matter, is very accessible. Sometime a beggar can come and tell you, you know what, I feel sorry for your suffering. A poverty-stricken person, a beggar, a woman or a man without any resources, they may be kind to you, they may be nice to you, they may sympathize with you, but they do not have the power to change anything in your life. कुछ परिवर्तन नहीं कर सकते. They can make you feel good. It is just like blowing over the boil. It makes you feel good for that amount of time. Right? Nowadays, we would not allow them to blow also because of the corona, right? तो उसी प्रकार से केवल ब्लो करने से, just blowing over the boil does not take away the suffering. So therefore, accessibility, saulabhyatvam, without the vaibhava, without the power, without the resources. And therefore the great teachers explain what is the avatara. Avatara is a harmony between accessibility, means becoming a human being like you and me, interacting with you and me, walking with you and me, being friends with you and me. And that's what Arjuna is speaking. That's what Hanumanji is speaking. That's what Sugriva is speaking. That's what Vibhishan is speaking. That's what Guha is speaking, for that matter. Right? Accessibility. But along with that accessibility, what does Sri Ramchandra have? Ramchandra's Virata. In the Valmiki's Ramayana, when Sugriv, this is the beautiful combination of Gunavan and Viryavan. Whenever Sugriv was objecting Sri Ramachandra giving shelter to Vibhishan. Imagine the battle is about to begin and suddenly somebody from other army, your enemy's army, enemy's brother comes to your camp and he says, I want to surrender to you. I want to take shelter of you. Generally what happens? Such a person is not trusted. They're chased away, they're shot, or they're imprisoned, right? But you can't take them seriously. We see during the political situation, people from this party to that party, seeing the opportunity, they come from this party to that party. Right? Misunderstanding them is a quite common thing, such a personality. Even the great speaker, the army retired officer, Gaurav Arya, amazing Rashtra Bhakta. But when they meddle into something, Valmiki Ramayana story, he gave a wrong example. Nobody gives the name Vibhishan. Karna ka naam diya jata hai. People give the name of Karna because he shows loyalty and Vibhishan doesn't show. Sir, you have to understand Valmiki's Ramayana to understand the greatness of Vibhishan. and moreover greatness of Ramachandra Bhagwan. And these two qualities come up so beautifully here. Our Vibhishan comes to take shelter. Sugriv says we can't give him shelter because he's enemy's brother. If he cannot be loyal to his brother, how can he be loyal to us? Ramchandra Bhagwan is asking all of his associates what to do. Should I give him shelter or not? Different people give different answers. Why they should not? Why should he not receive? Hanumanji says he should be given shelter because he is ambitious to be, becoming the king. He has no fault in him. I don't see any fault in him. And eventually Sri Ramchandra gives him shelter because he is accessible. He is compassionate. He is full of quality of being, making somebody as his friend, his brother, right, associate. But Sugriv still actually objects to this. And Sugriv speaks up his mind. He says, my dear Ramachandra Bhagwan, what if Vibhishan betrays us, tries to harm you, harm our people, then what will happen? That is the difference between compassion shown by an ordinary person at the cost of putting the entire country at a risk. I will not take the name. We are discussing about Ramachandra Bhagwan. Right? So Ramachandra says, what does he say? So beautiful, so profound. Ramchandra Bhagwan tells Sugriv, looks at Sugriv and he says, my dear Sugriv, he said, if somebody misuses my kindness, my compassion, my accessibility, here he shows the quality of Viryavan. He says, simply by the power of my thumb, I can crush the entire universe, what to speak of any ordinary personality. Therefore, Kshama, Udharata has to go along with Kshamata, capacity to be compassionate, capacity to be accessible. This is not mine. I am not saying this. This is Valmiki Maharshi's Ramayana. You see these verses in the Ramayana. You see these words in the Ramayana. Ramachandra had the capacity to even forgive Ravan. When Ravan was not willing to change on the battlefield, on the very first encounter with Sri Ram, Ravan was mortified. He was beaten badly, like an Indian cricket team playing with some club cricket team. Right? Bhagwan Ram said, go again, come back next day. And when Ravan was going, right, Ram was hoping that he will change. But when Ravan did not change, what did Lord Ram do to Ravan? Jitna daya, as much as possible to make himself available to Ravan, with that same intensity, Sri Ramachandra crushed Ravan. Therefore, when we chant Jai Sitaram is a love call. And Jai Sri Ram is a war call. अगर आपको प्रेम नहीं चाहिए तो दंड में मिल जाएगा. So that is the beauty of avatar. The avatar is defined as harmony between accessibility and valor. It's a harmony between valor and kindness. It is a harmony between paritranaya sadhunam, vinashaya cha dushkritam. Right? Many times people give a solace, empathize, saying that don't worry, everything will be all right. I will pray for you. उस समय हमें प्रार्थना की आवश्यकता नहीं होती है. That is not the time we are looking for the prayers. We are looking for prayas, an action. And therefore no one can come closer to Sri Ramachandra in regards to this quality, then the question is raised, if these qualities there in the Ramachandra, how does it benefit me? I can understand that Ramachandra's qualities, are we studying these qualities for what? Only for being absorbed in the qualities of Lord Ram? Adhyatmik tallinata? Does it make any sense into my day-to-day life? Because Arjuna asked this question to Sri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. He said, Krishna, you're telling all this philosophy makes sense, but does it make sense into my surrounding? Very important principle. My surrounding is what? I fight. I do perform diplomacy, politics, war, administration. So how do I see you in my surrounding, Krishna? Keshu keshu cha bhaveshu chintosi bhagavan maya. Then Sri Krishna told Arjun, Yad yad vibhuti mat sattvam. Right, hey Arjun, you can see me in everything around you. Yamam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mahi pashyati. So similarly, one who can understand, be absorbed in the qualities of Sri Ram, especially the accessibility and valor, parakram, sahas. When we see that, what does it do? That gives rise to certain feeling of, if my Lord can do this, at least on a minuscule level, according to my capacity, according to my accessibility, I need to give it to others. Therefore, the king was always called as the representative of Vishnu. Indra amongst the Devatas, the Bhagavatam 10th canto explains, he is also supposed to exhibit those qualities, of course, because of the limitless violence created by the Rakshasas. Indra became insufficient to perform that task. Therefore, Bhumi Devi called the Supreme Lord himself personally. Same thing during Treta Yuga. The powerful demonic forces were not able to be controlled by the great kings who were representing Vishnu, who were great kings, the kings of Raghukul. Pran jai parantu vachan na jai. That was the quality of Dashrath Maharaj. That was the Raghukul. Kalidas explains in the Raghukul. But when it came to Ravan, it came to Vali, no king was capable to bring them down and at the same time be compassionate. And therefore these two qualities, accessibility, gunavan, and for that matter, viryavan, has to be seen as an integration. And when we see these qualities, and whenever you find somebody, if somebody is exhibiting these qualities with 4 people, with 8 people, with 10 people, standing for them, fighting for them, giving justice to them, extending themselves, what are these qualities? There is some manifestation, in a minuscule manifestation. We are attracted to these qualities, right? Now also, even in this world, even in this, hardcore, selfish, materialistic society, when people, as always, doesn't matter which yuga, when people exhibit these qualities, it brings a movement, it moves our heart. Wow, how can they do it? How seamlessly they are doing. Imagine Lakshman, Hanumanji, when they saw this quality of Sri Ramachandra continuously exhibiting, all the time exhibiting, whether to the Ayodhya Vasis or that, for that matter, for the Kapi soldiers during the Lanka, right? They were fascinated. So therefore it was but natural for Hanumanji to speak these verses. Who we are, what is our position? Na janmanunam, na mahato na saubhaga, na vak na buddhir. न हमारे में बुद्धि है, न हमारे में बोलने की क्षमता है. Neither we have a good birth, but it is the greatness of Sri Ramachandra. He became so accessible to us. And that same Hanumanji saw the valor of Sri Ramachandra. Right? One of the valor, it is explained by the Shurpanaka herself. Right? When she comes and tells Khardushan, the first thing they do, they come with the 14 Rakshasas. Within no time, Bhagwan Ramachandra destroys them, and Shurpanaka sees that. She goes back. She goes back to Khardushan. Now this is coming from the enemy. Shurpanaka is the enemy. She is glorifying Lord Ramachandra. She said, what the hell are you doing here with all your army? This Raghukula Veera, what he did, he basically within no time destroyed. And what can you do? I know you'll not be able to destroy. So she was confident. But still, because she was a Rakshasi, she forced Khardushan to come with the 14,000 soldiers. And that is Raghuveera. Therefore, Ramnath Swami always said, Jai Jai Raghuveera Samartha. Right? He is more attracted to the valor of Sri Ramachandra because that was the need. Right? That was the need. Where the entire Bharatiya Rashtra was not all over, but generally it was oppressed. So they are looking for the representation of Sri Ramachandra. And Shivaji Maharaj, for that matter, being inspired by Sri Ram, being inspired by Sri Krishna, he did show that qualities to such an extent when Shivaji Maharaj passed away. Right? Aurangzeb, the greatest enemy of Sanatana Dharma. Right? But still our country gave the name Aurangzeb Road. Imagine. So that Aurangzeb, when he heard the news of the departure of Shivaji Maharaj, he felt I had a appropriate enemy to fight. Right? He glorified. He कैसे लोगों को बनाया उन्होंने, what kind of person he was. He glorified, but still he concluded, but still है तो शत्रु है हमारा. So Shurpanaka glorifies Lord Ram's valor, and urges the 14,000 Rakshasas to come and fight. And within 40 minutes, Lord Ramachandra finished all the 14,000 soldiers along with Khardushan and looked at Sita Devi. Some people consider Sita Devi to be very mild, very soft, very sensitive. She is the daughter of a Janak Maharaj. She's a queen. Right? She's a Lakshmi Devi. And that same Lakshmi Devi, when she appears as Bhadrakali, Chandi, Durga Mata, Chamundi, right? The Navratri is going on. She takes on to the different form to the extent that she is so kind, but that very Lakshmi, when she has to bring down the adharma, she becomes Bhadrakali. And when Mother Sita saw from the cave, being protected by Lakshman, watching Ramachandra perform this wonderful task, accessible, kind, compassionate, right, softer than the rose, that same Ramachandra had become harder than the thunderbolt. Within 40 minutes he finished off, and therefore Mother Sita, she said, you are the man. And she raised her finger, thumbs up, and said, great work you did. Right? So whether it is Sita Devi or Sri Ramachandra, they exhibit this quality. Valor is presented. Kindness is the quality of Sita Devi. They are integrated together. And therefore, Valmiki Maharshi, while describing the qualities, while raising the question to Narad Muni, he raised in such a way, Gunavan, Viryavan. Tomorrow, we will take each of these qualities and discuss, and then we will discuss how the third quality, Gunavan, Viryavan, Dharmagya, right? He is the Dharma Palaka. Valmiki Maharshi explains through the mouth of Maricha, Ramo Vigrahan Dharma. What is Ram? Ram is the personification of Dharma. That also we will study. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. We'll stop here.